function that I wrote. And this is a function that inserts a string into another string at a particular index value. So note, again, all I have in this function is a return statement. So what that means is that I am going to have to store the returned value from this function in a variable in order to be able to use that value. So I can call the insert function with the insert keyword, and then I can put a string in here. So I'm going to put the string hello world, and then I'm going to put another string, and I'm going to use the word JavaScript, and then I'm going to insert that string at position 6 in the first string. So that'll end up inserting the string at position 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So right after the space in hello world, or right after index 5. So it'll go 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then after index 5 it'll throw in the word JavaScript. And so if I do that and then I console log x and I run it, I'll get hello JavaScript world. Now, notice we've got a space problem because we only had one space in between hello and world. So if we add a space here on JavaScript and we run that, well, we get our spaces correct. But this function allows you to take one string and add another string in the middle, and it even allows you to choose where within that string you want to add it. So this can be a really useful function. Now also, within this function, we're actually using another function. We're using the substring function. This is a function that actually is bundled along with JavaScript, and so you can use this straight out of the box. There's a bunch of these kinds of functions in JavaScript, and I've included in the notes a URL, a link from W3 Schools that gives you a bunch of JavaScript string methods. But what this substring method does, it's actually really useful, and we'll be using it in some of our games later on, is it gives us a substring of the string that we call the function on. And in order to call this function, we use something called dot notation. The reason for that is that this is a function that goes along with the string class. So just like we used math.random to call things that went with the math class, we're going to use string.substring to call things that to string dot in order to call things that go with the string class. So what this substring does is it gives us a shorter string and from the starting index that we give it to the index just before the ending index that we give it. So if I wanted to do something like hello world, and I want to get the substring starting at the beginning of the word and going to say, let's just say I want the word hello. I want to go to value 5 because that'll give me the first 5 letters of the string, right? It'll take me up to but not including index 5. I would do this, hello world.substring 0, 5. And I'm going to console log that so you can see it, see that it works. And we're going to run this. And we get the word hello. Now, if I wanted to start not with the H in hello, but instead with the W in world, I could start with the index that W starts with. So it's 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, and then I'm going to go all the way to the end of the string. So in this case, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I want to go to 11, and we're going to run this because I want 6 through 10 is what I want to appear. Let's see if that works, and it gives me the word world. Now, if you're just going to the end of the string, one thing that you can do is just enter a single digit into substring, and what that will do is it'll start you at that digit. Okay, at that index, which in this case is the letter W. And then when you run it, it'll give you that index all the way to the end of the word. So if I wanted to start, say, with the third letter, the letter that's at position 3, which is the fourth letter of hello, I would do hello world.substring3. I run it, I get LO world. Okay? So that substring method is going to be really useful for you as we continue on in our games, especially when we start to work on our text-based adventure in a couple of weeks. And you'll notice that with the substring method and the insert method, we were able to include more than one parameter, and then we keep track of those parameters by using the parameters' variable names. Okay? All right, so you've got a couple of assignments for this lesson, and I'm going to go through those here. So the first assignment, all three of these assignments, you'll be writing your own functions. So use the function syntax that I gave you at the beginning of this lesson. And for the first one, you're going to write a function that takes in the radius of a circle as its parameter and then returns the circle's area. So you're going to do a little bit of math here. Remember that the area of a circle is pi r squared. And you can use the constant math.pi. So if you actually just use math.pi, remember pi is capitalized for constants, you can use that in your calculation and that will give you pi to about 8 or 9 digits. You could also just use 3.14 if you want your answer to have a little bit less precision. In the second problem, you're going to write a function that returns the perimeter of a shape with equal side lengths when given the side length and the number of sides as parameters. So get perimeter 3, 15 will return the perimeter of a triangle, that's the number of sides, 3, with sides that are 15, right? 15 long. And so you're going to just do the math on that and then return the value for the perimeter of this equilateral polygon. And then the last function that you're going to write is a function that returns a die roll. The die roll will be given the number of sides on the die as the parameter. So if you were to use this function and roll die 20, passing 20 in as the parameter, you're rolling a d20. If you roll die 6, you're rolling a d6. But you want to be able to handle any possible die shape. You could even do a two-sided die, even though that's not really a thing. That's more of a coin, but whatever. So you want to basically write a function that uses this parameter and then finds a random integer between 1 and the parameter value that you're passing into it inclusive. Okay, so those are your assignments. All three of these functions can be written in basically 1 or 2 lines inside of the function declaration. So you'll have about 3 or 4 lines total for this. But that's your assignment, and good luck.